Climate change is not a distant threat. It is happening now. Our planet is warming and the consequences are already being felt worldwide. We are experiencing more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and disruptions to ecosystems. The urgency of this crisis cannot be overstated. We must act now to mitigate its worst effects. The evidence for climate change is overwhelming. It is not just a theory or a distant possibility, it is a reality that we are experiencing right now. This evidence comes from multiple independent sources including scientific research, historical data, and real-time observations. Global temperature records, dating back to the late 19th century, show a clear warming trend. These records are meticulously collected and analyzed by scientists around the world. Sea levels are rising at an accelerating rate due to the expansion of warmer water and the melting of glaciers and ice sheets. This rise in sea levels poses a significant threat to coastal communities and ecosystems. The frequency and intensity of extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, floods, and storms are increasing. These events are becoming more severe and more frequent, causing widespread damage and disruption. These changes are not isolated incidents, they are interconnected symptoms of a warming planet. The impacts of climate change are being felt across the globe, affecting every continent and every ecosystem. The Earth's climate system is complex and interconnected. Changes in one part of the system can have cascading effects throughout the globe, leading to unpredictable and often devastating consequences. For example, the melting of Arctic sea ice can disrupt ocean currents, leading to changes in weather patterns far away from the poles. This can result in more extreme weather events in regions that are not typically affected. The loss of sea ice also threatens the habitats of many species, including polar bears, which rely on the ice for hunting and breeding. The ripple effects of these changes are profound and far-reaching. The scientific evidence is clear: climate change is real, human-caused, and a grave threat. It is driven by the increase in greenhouse gases from human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. The longer we wait to take action, the more severe the consequences will become. Delaying action will only make it harder and more expensive to address the impacts of climate change in the future. We must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the worst effects of climate change. This includes transitioning to renewable energy sources, protecting and restoring forests, and supporting policies that promote sustainability and resilience. The Earth is experiencing a fever and its temperature is rising. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a stark reality that we can observe and measure. The planet's average temperature has increased by about 1.2 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century, a change that might seem small but has profound implications for our environment. This warming is not uniform. Some regions are experiencing more dramatic temperature increases than others. For instance, the Arctic is warming at a rate more than twice the global average, leading to significant changes in its ecosystem and impacting global weather patterns. The Arctic, for example, is warming at twice the rate of the global average. This rapid warming is causing the ice to melt at unprecedented rates, which not only threatens the habitats of polar bears and other wildlife, but also contributes to rising sea levels worldwide. This warming is causing glaciers and ice sheets to melt at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels. As these ice masses shrink, they release vast amounts of fresh water into the oceans, which can disrupt marine ecosystems and alter ocean currents. The warming climate is also disrupting weather patterns, leading to more extreme weather events. Hurricanes, typhoons, and other storms are becoming more intense and frequent, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. Heat waves are becoming more frequent, intense, and long-lasting, posing significant risks to human health. These extreme heat events can lead to heat stroke, dehydration, and exacerbate existing health conditions, particularly in vulnerable populations such as the elderly and children. Droughts are becoming more severe, threatening crops and water supplies. Prolonged periods of drought can devastate agriculture, leading to food shortages and increased prices, and can also strain water resources, affecting both drinking water and sanitation. Floods are becoming more common and destructive, causing widespread damage and displacement. Heavy rainfall and rising sea levels contribute to these floods, which can destroy homes, infrastructure, and displace entire communities, leading to long-term economic and social challenges. These are just a few of the symptoms of a planet in crisis. The interconnected nature of these issues means that addressing one symptom often requires addressing others, highlighting the complexity of the climate crisis. The longer we wait to address the root cause of this fever, our reliance on fossil fuels, the more severe these symptoms will become. Transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions are critical steps we must take to mitigate these impacts and protect our planet for future generations. Our inaction on climate change is not just a problem for future generations, it is already impacting people and ecosystems around the world. However, the consequences of our inaction will fall disproportionately on the shoulders of future generations. They will inherit a world ravaged by climate change, a world with more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and depleted natural resources. We have a moral obligation to leave a habitable planet for our children and grandchildren. Failing to address climate change is a failure of our responsibility to future generations. It is a betrayal of their trust and a denial of their right to a safe and healthy future. Section 5. A call to action, empowering future generations. In this section, we explore the vital role that young people play in the fight against climate change. Their voices are powerful, their actions are impactful, and their determination is unwavering. They are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the change-makers of today. We cannot stand idly by while our planet warms and the future of humanity is threatened. The evidence of climate change is all around us, from the melting glaciers and raging forest fires to the flooded streets and extreme weather events. These are not distant problems. They are happening here and now, affecting communities worldwide. We must act now, and we must act together. The power of unity cannot be underestimated. When diverse groups of people come together, holding hands and working towards a common goal, incredible things can happen. Whether it's a community coming together to plant trees or volunteers dedicating their time to environmental causes, every action counts. Fortunately, there are many things we can do to address climate change, both individually and collectively. Community renewable energy projects, beach cleanups, and urban garden initiatives are just a few examples of how collective efforts can make a significant impact. These projects not only help the environment but also foster a sense of community and shared responsibility. We can reduce our own carbon footprint by making sustainable choices in our daily lives. Simple actions like recycling, using reusable shopping bags, and installing solar panels on our homes can collectively make a big difference. Every small step we take towards sustainability adds up to a larger positive impact on our planet. We can choose to walk, bike, or take public transportation instead of driving alone. These choices not only reduce our carbon emissions but also promote healthier lifestyles and less congested cities. Imagine a world where clean air and safe streets are the norm, not the exception. We can reduce our energy consumption at home by using energy-efficient appliances and light bulbs. Smart home devices can help us monitor and reduce our energy use, making our homes more sustainable. Energy-efficient home improvements are investments in our future, saving money and resources in the long run. We can adopt a more plant-based diet which has a lower environmental impact than a meat-heavy diet. Eating more fruits, vegetables, and plant-based proteins not only benefits our health but also reduces the strain on our planet's resources. Community gardens and local markets can provide fresh, sustainable food options. These individual actions, while important, are not enough on their own. We need to amplify our efforts by engaging in climate-related activities and adopting eco-friendly lifestyle choices. It's about creating a culture of sustainability that permeates every aspect of our lives. We need systemic change to address the scale of the climate crisis. This means advocating for policies that support renewable energy, large-scale reforestation projects, and other initiatives that can drive significant environmental progress. Systemic change requires the involvement of governments, businesses, and individuals working together towards a common goal. This requires collective action and political will. Environmental activists, protesters, and politicians all play crucial roles in pushing for the necessary changes. By raising our voices and demanding action, we can influence policy and create a sustainable future for generations to come. The time to act is now, and together, we can make a difference. Section 6. Joining hands, the power of collective action. One of the most effective ways to drive systemic change is to support environmental organizations. These organizations are on the front lines of the fight against climate change, working to raise awareness, promote sustainable policies, and hold polluters accountable. By supporting environmental organizations financially or through volunteering, you can help amplify their impact. These organizations rely on the support of individuals like you to continue their critical work. Your contribution, no matter how small, can make a difference. Section 7. Legislating change, a duty to protect our future. We also need to advocate for strong environmental legislation. Governments around the world have a responsibility to protect their citizens from the impacts of climate change. This includes enacting policies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions, promote clean energy, and invest in climate adaptation measures. Contact your elected officials and urge them to support strong climate action. Let them know that you care about this issue and that you expect them to prioritize it. Your voice, combined with the voices of others who care about climate change, can make a difference in shaping policy. Section 8. Breaking the silence. Your voice matters. We need to have honest conversations about climate change and its impacts. Talk to your friends, family, and colleagues about this issue. Share your concerns, educate yourself about the science, and encourage others to take action. Breaking the silence surrounding climate change is crucial to building a broader movement for change. The more people who are aware of the issue and its urgency, the more likely we are to see meaningful action from our leaders. Section 9. Confronting inaction, a plea for reflection. If you've read this far and still find yourself hesitant to support environmental action, I urge you to reflect on your reasons. What are the potential costs of inaction? What kind of world do we risk leaving for future generations if we fail to address this crisis? Your support for environmental agendas is not just about saving the planet, it's about securing a livable future for all of us. It's about ensuring that our children and grandchildren inherit a world where they can thrive, not just survive. Please, choose action. Choose hope. Choose the future.